Okay, here we are. Happy Friday, everyone. Couple of housekeeping things. You guys, technology, as you know. Technology and I are not the best of friends. My husband thinks that my energetic field disrupts technology. That's a story for another day. I don't think that's what's going on here, but I know that Facebook indexes videos very strangely. I cannot figure out how they index them and why. I think it's probably based on engagement in the video. You know, if you're liking them and watching them and things like that, I think they move them to the top. And anyways, my point is Facebook does really weird things with the videos. I apologize about that. I haven't figured out how to get them to go in order. And I know a couple of you have been wondering about, which one and in order. And a couple of you asked me yesterday, sort of, where do I find these videos? I'm specifically looking for specific ones. So here's what I'll tell you. If you're in the Mighty Network group, some of you might be in the Mighty Network group. If you're in the Mighty Network group, I went through and indexed the videos, not only by the number of day that it was, but also by the week that it's in. Okay, so you'll see day 24, which is, week 5, day 3. Okay, and so that way you've got your challenge sheets, and the challenge sheet tells you what week you're in, right? We did the Is It Worth It challenge. We did the, What Do I Want to Feel challenge. I think week 3 was the sugar detox challenge. So you'll see the challenge week 3, and then you'll see the video in Mighty Network right now corresponds to that week and what day. So sugar detox challenge is week 3, and it'll say week 3, day 1, week 3, day 2, week 3. Okay. So I went and indexed that in Mighty Network. Hopefully that makes it easier to find which video you're looking for. I know now the videos are piling on top of each other, which is great. There's so much support for you there, but you might be looking for a specific one during a specific week, and it's hard to find what that is. So hopefully that helps that for those of you that are in Mighty Network. For Facebook, I'm going to try and do that exact same thing. It's strange. Facebook is strange. They have limitations. They do weird things. And if I can index it that way, I will. If I can't index it that way, I will likely change the worksheets. And on the worksheet, it will tell you what days correspond to the video. So for instance, week 3 is the sugar detox challenge, and it would say on the worksheet, week 3, which are videos 10 through 14. And then you can go back and you can look for those videos. I'm going to try to do my best to index it for you guys to make it easier to find videos. I'm just pumped that you're looking for specific videos and you're trying to find them. So that's great. You're engaged in it. It makes me very happy. I want to be able to give you all what you need. So that's what I'm doing there. Many of you are asking me more questions about the shift. I will start talking about that if you want me to. As I keep telling everybody, just make sure you get on the wait list. The wait list will get emails a couple of weeks before anybody else saying that it's open. We might fill the spot just with the wait list because there's a lot more people on the wait list right now than we do have spots in that first round. So make sure you get on the wait list. You don't have to sign up if you're on the wait list. You just get notified when everything opens up for you. So I will start talking about that in the next few weeks as you get interested in it. I think there was one other housekeeping thing I wanted to say, and now it has escaped me. It'll come to me if I need to. Okay, so today, the housekeeping thing was in relation to what I'm going to talk about today. So here's what I want to say. Many of you are having emotions come up. That's great. I know it doesn't feel great, but it means that you are starting to stir and move around the root cause of things, right? You've heard me talk ad nauseum about content versus context, and how if you truly want transformation and change, you got to get to the context. And so as we've been slowly kind of moving our way to this week, some emotions are coming up. And as I mentioned way back when we started this happens over the holidays, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, because of the firing and wiring in the brain. Holidays are historically ripe with family, traditions, heavy emotions, right? And so if you have things going on that are combined with heavy emotions, then you've got firing and wiring going on, right? And some of that is conscious and some of that is not. But it starts to sort of churn in the body. And because we are a culture, as I've been talking about, of not feeling uncomfortable emotions, and especially now that we'll scroll, we'll distract, we'll write emails, we'll turn on the TV and look at Instagram and eat and cook it. We'll do all the things because we're just conditioned not to sit in stillness and this discomfort. And so I describe this to you because it's a lot of it is a non-conscious process, right? It's just all happening habitually. It's just what we're used to doing. And we don't even realize that we're doing it, except that the negative impact of that is that we're doing a lot of stuff with food to cope with whatever's happening with the context. So many of you are having some uncomfortable emotions and feelings come up. So this is what I wanted to say about that, just as a disclaimer. Yes, I am a licensed psychotherapist. Yes, I do have a therapeutic practice and a coaching practice and all of that stuff. I am not giving you specific therapeutic advice. And I only say that to say, if you're really struggling, if you're having some serious depressive symptoms or binge eating symptoms or anxiety symptoms that are overwhelming and taking over your emotions, this series is wonderful, but it's not the place for you to get that focused attention that you deserve and you need. So reach out to me privately and I can either help guide you in a direction or we can talk about whatever it is that you need, but please do not take the Healthy for the Holidays series as your therapeutic intervention for more serious and chronic or acute mental health issues coming up, okay? That's my disclaimer. However, now that I've said that, that's my disclaimer. Now that I've said that, if you've worked with me or followed me for any period of time, you will know that I firmly believe that it is an illusion that we are not able to deal with the emotions that are coming up for us. I firmly believe, both from a spiritual psychology standpoint, as well as a neuropsychology and cognitive psychology standpoint, that whatever is happening and stirring in us, we have the ability to emotionally cope with those things. I'm not saying that it's always easy or that, you're going to avoid discomfort. Certainly you're not, but I believe very strongly that we have the ability to manage whatever is coming up for us. So I need you to know that we have been conditioned to believe that we need to not let those emotions come to the surface. They're too scary. They'll overtake us. I'll die from them. That's a subconscious belief that if we have this discomfort come up, that we will quite literally die from it. It's not a conscious connection, but it's a subconscious connection. That discomfort equals fear. Fear equals death. Death is the ultimate thing that our body is trying to protect us from. So it doesn't want to allow those emotions to come up. I spend a lot of time helping people understand that it's okay, that we are safe. We can experience negative emotions. So here's my first tip for you today. I would love for you, and remember, I gave you the disclaimer. If you need some more support and help, please seek it out or reach out to me or do something for yourself, okay? I'm not giving you specific therapeutic advice if you're suffering from depression or anxiety or something that you really need some more one-on-one or focused attention for, okay? However, if you are just experiencing negative emotions and you want some tools to help you go through that, I invite you to start really living into this concept that you are safe and telling your body that you are safe. Now remember, if you're not actually safe, this is not the place for you. Not that this is not the place for you, just please understand, I need you to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, okay? But let's assume that you are actually physically safe environment. You're not at risk for harm or death in your current physical environment. one of the best things we can do for ourselves is to remind our body and remind ourselves that we are safe. I am safe now. I am safe here. Because what's happening in the subconscious is that it is, sorry, people are coming into my house. Oh, okay. What's happening in the subconscious is that it is when those uncomfortable feelings are under the surface, it is remembering a time period or something in your life where it didn't feel safe, and it's activating it as if it is happening now. And if we can condition ourselves, hence the daily stillness practice, if we can condition ourselves to stay present and stay focused, we can remind ourselves, I am safe now. It is okay. I am safe now. I am safe here. I am safe in my body. I am safe in my mind. I am safe in my environment. And once we can drop into that safety, then we can ask, what is it that I need? I'm feeling dysregulated. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling nostalgic. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling disconnected, whatever it is, right? Our body is being triggered by a memory of the past. Remember, I've been talking about memorized emotions and habitual behavior. Our body is being triggered by a memory of the past, which is bringing it to the surface as if it's happening now. It's not happening now. So if we can, with our cognitive mind, be able to say, we are safe here, I am safe, then we're able to go to that next level, because that takes care of that need of the subconscious. I am safe. We can go to the next level of, what is it that I need right now? What is it that I need? The thing is that we bypass that whole process by going straight to the food. Feeling uncomfortable, dysregulated, habitual, frustrated, angry, nervous, excited, straight to the food. We never slow down enough to say, I'm safe. Everything's okay right as it is. What do I want right now? What do I need right now? What is happening for me right now? So this is in response to a comment and a question that one of you asked me yesterday, which is about, I'm feeling like I'm white knuckling it right now, and I don't really know why. And I wrote back to her and said, it's okay. You don't have to exactly know why. You don't have to say, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable because I remember that 25 years ago, my mom said this around the Christmas time, and it really made me sad. And you don't have to have that exact pathway. That's okay. You don't have to have that. But staying present and aware, something feels off for me. I'm struggling right now. I'm white knuckling it right now. Something is being triggered inside you. Something's being triggered, brought up to the surface. Now, I spent a lot of yesterday talking to one of you about, once you get into the habit of eating sugar and all those things, what's happening in the physiology and the brain chemistry and things like that. This is different. She's not actually eating the sugar or the processed foods or anything, but she's feeling like every time she goes to the store, she's having to white knuckle it. Okay, don't get this, don't get that. And it's feeling hard for her where it wasn't feeling hard before. And again, our history is just to say, I won't get the eggnog. I won't get this. I won't do that. We pay too much attention to the content. She is starting to awaken to this context. I don't know why it feels so hard for me right now, but it does. I don't know why I'm having to white knuckle it right now, but I am. And so what I wrote back to her is when she's willing, and if she's willing to give herself the space, to do a little reflective writing and to sit down in stillness. I said, for me, I will I'll light a candle and I'll put on some soft music, which again, people think that's platitude. This stuff isn't platitude. This stuff is soft music, or a candle is telling your nervous system that you are safe right where you are. It's slowing you back into the parasympathetic nervous system to allow you to come down out of activation. And once you come down out of activation, I said to her, ask your subconscious some questions. Now, don't search for the answers, just put them out there. Say, what is feeling triggering right now? Or what needs are not being met right now? Or what do I need right now? Or what might support me right now? Or subconscious, tell me why I'm having trouble with food right now. Something to kind of stir that inside, and then let it go and just write. And you don't have to search for it. You don't have to find the answers. Well, nothing's coming. Just let it go. Listen to the music, the candles going, and just write. And I told her, even if it's your to-do list, even if all that comes out in the beginning is your to-do list and why am I doing this? I don't even know why this is happening. Just let it all out. And what will usually happen if you keep that intention in your mind is that something will come to you and you'll go, oh my gosh, I forgot that this or whatever it is, and it will kind of just come out on the paper if you can let it go and not search for it. So that was my first response to her, was to have this, allow herself this process of trying to understand what might be triggering her. And you guys, it might just be a vibration. It might just be an emotion, feeling lonely, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling empty, or I'm feeling disconnected, or I'm feeling flustered or overwhelmed. And you may not have, again, the exact connection as to why, but it just might come up and out that these are the things that are happening. And so the brain will go out and search for the things to fill that, right? So lonely, discomfort, overwhelmed, and there's all the holiday ads that say, well, I know how to fix that. Drink this Starbucks eggnog. Isn't it beautifully connective, holiday, festive? And so your brain goes, oh, okay, Starbucks told me to drink this, so that'll make me feel better, right? And so that's why we're being triggered to, go and soothe this with food. It's just one of the reasons why, right? But if we can stay connected to what's underneath that, then we have the opportunity to give ourselves, to meet that need outside of the content of food, okay? So that is what I offered her today, and I offer all of you. That's why to wrap this up in a bow, it's part of what the daily stillness practice offers is it feels uncomfortable. I know that. These uncomfortable emotions are starting to come to the surface, and we go, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. And that's our habitual pattern. But if we allow them to come to the surface, if we can remind our bodies that we are safe, however you do that, whether it's a mantra, whether it's a candle or music, or just sitting and reminding, right here, right now, I am safe. Right here, right now, I am safe. When we can allow those emotions to come to the surface, we can explore the context and we can start to understand. And as I told you earlier this week, when we understand the context and when we're actually addressing the context of the situation, that's when we are able to heal the parts of ourselves that truly need to be held, the root of the issue. And then the symptom of the food starts to dissipate on its own. And that's what you all want. Okay. Deborah says she wasn't concentrating at the beginning. You're totally present now. So glad to hear that, Deb. Glad you're present now. I'm glad you're here for this. I'm glad all of you are here for this, because this connection, this moment that we take to be present, this moment that we take to slow down and say, okay, I am here, I'm listening, I have full body attention to myself, not just these videos, to myself, right? Throughout the day. When can I do that? And for many of you, it's really hard. You told me when I said we're doing a daily stillness practice, you said, I don't do that. I don't sit still. That's not part of me. That's not what I do. And hopefully you've allowed yourself those moments this week, and I hope you continue through the weekend. And honestly, as I told you, I hope you never stop doing the daily stillness practice, because that is when we train ourselves to connect to the context of our lives and not just react to every situation. Okay. So I'm going to give you just a quick, and I'm going to look on here, make sure there's no comments in the group. Okay. No comments in the group. Okay. And no comments live right now. For those of you who are on the Zoom live, if you have any questions, just pop them in. I will try and answer them for you before we hop off. Let me tell you where we're going next week. So we've been doing a lot of emotion, right? Been doing a lot of emotion, a lot of, how do you want to feel? And, daily stillness practice. And is it worth it? That's a lot of emotions, right? The next 2 weeks, we're moving into practical tactical, which I love. And as you know, you've been following me for a while now, I am a combination of this scientific, this practical application, and also the spiritual side of it. I believe they go so beautifully together, and it's what I love the most. So we're going to move into some of the brain science of this. I mean, we've been talking brain science the whole time, but we're going to spend the next 2 weeks on habits. And next week, I'm going to teach you a lot about habits and what they are, what they aren't, some misconceptions about habits, some lies that are out there that people have been telling that aren't actually true. Like it takes 21 days to make a habit. It's just not true. I'm going to teach you some of that stuff, which is super fun. And then the week after, so not next week 6, but week 7, I'm going to allow you the opportunity to send me your email and be put into a group where I'm going to take you through the Tiny Habits coaching week and be coached by me. I'll explain this all to you next week, but just as a heads up, if you want to be in that group, which you do, it's super fun. BJ will send emails and then I'm on there as the coach. It's awesome. And you can be coached by me on your tiny habits, not next week, but the week after. So you'll send me your email and I'll get you signed up for that list and it'll be really fun. That's what we're going to do the next 2 weeks. So we move from some of the spiritual stuff into blocking and tackling and some of the really tactical, practical ways that you've got to change the way that you're being in life. Okay, I don't see any questions in here. I don't see any questions here. Here we go. Great question. So Deborah says, I don't suppose swimming outdoors in cold rivers in the UK counts as stillness practice. It's very mindful. So here's the thing about that, Deborah, is that I know stillness is hard for you. And I actually am going to say that I think that could count as your daily stillness practice. And here's why, is because to swim in a cold river in the UK right now takes focused attention, doesn't it? It requires you to slow down and focus on your breathing. Your body is cold, right? The reason why I paused on that is because what you're doing in swimming in a cold river in a good way is putting your body through oxidative stress. So your body is going into fight or flight mode when you drop it into a cold river, but in a positive, healthy way from a cellular distress level. So what I want you to do with this daily stillness practice is to reset your parasympathetic nervous system into rest and digest. Jumping into a cold river does not reset your parasympathetic nervous system. It's actually going to activate the fight or flight system, but in a good way. It's not a bad activation of that. There's actually a lot of really good research on what cold exposure does for us. So don't stop doing it. That's fantastic. But know that it's a different nervous system activation than what I want for you. Although, since I know that for you, it is hard for you to be still, it is better than not doing stillness. If that makes sense. So I would prefer something that allows you to be still in a way that you can train your brain. The thing is, I don't want you to be doing it from avoidance, right? Because you feel like you can't be still, or what would happen if you were still, or things would come up for you if you were still. That's my biggest fear when people say, well, I'm going to jump in a cold plunge, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to, be active. It's because oftentimes underneath they feel unsafe being still. And if that's the case, then I don't want to have you do that instead of, if that makes sense. I hope that answered that question. She says, great, she could do both. Fantastic, and do both. But don't stop jumping into a cold river because that's really good for you. Okay. All right, you all. Thanks for your participation today. I will see you on Monday. Do your daily stillness practice over the weekend. Talk to you Monday.